Hello everyone, my name is Desiree. I work with the Beloit Public Library and I'm here to show you your new 6 books for this month. We're going to start with this one. It's called 100 Monsters in My School. The main character, her name is Jane Brain, and she goes to a school called Frankenstein Elementary. So as you might guess, her classmates are monsters, ghouls, vampires, ghosts, things like that. Now Jane's teacher, for the 100th day of school, they're going to have a celebration. Jane's teacher asks all the students to bring in 100 of something. Jane doesn't know what to do, so she shows up to school without anything. We're going to read a couple of pages here about what some of her classmates bring. Oop, got the wrong one. We walked inside the classroom. "Welcome to the 100th day of school," Miss Vampira said. "We will start our show and tell now." I slid down in my seat. I didn't want Miss Vampira to call on me. I had nothing to show or tell. "Victor Fangley," Miss Vampira said. "Why don't you go first?" There's a picture of Victor. Victor stood up and smiled. All of his front teeth were missing, except for his 2 fangs. They were very sharp and very pointy. "I've brought in my fang collection," Victor said with a smile. He held up a bunch of little bags. "I have 10 cat fangs and 10 dog fangs," he began. "I have 10 monkey fangs and 10 alligator fangs. I have 10 fangs from my grandma and 10 fangs from my grandpa. They don't need them anymore." Everyone in class laughed. "I have 10 of my brother's baby fangs and 10 of my sister's baby fangs. I have 10 fangs I found at the beach, and I have 10 fangs I'm going to leave out for the Fang Fairy. At my house, the Tooth Fairy comes, but I didn't want to say anything." "That makes 100 fangs in all," Victor said. "Thank you, Victor," Ms. Vampira said. "That was fantastic. Who'll be next?" So this is a funny book. There's a lot of monstery goodness in there. So you'll want to see what the other kids bring and what Jane ends up doing. Our next book is also about monsters. This is called The Monster in the Mattress. This is our bilingual book. Now, a lot of bilingual books you have read probably have one line of words in English and then another line on the same page with words, the same words done in Spanish or another language. This book's a little different. If you want to read the book in English, you're going to start on this side, and there's your list of mysteries. But if you want to read it in Spanish, you're going to flip it over, start on this side, and then there's your list. So there's 6 mysteries, short mysteries in this book, including what did Anita's brother do to her hamster Pinky? Why is there a witch flashing on Sylvia's wall? And what invisible creature is bouncing on Rudy's bed? I'm going to read you a little bit of one of the mysteries called Abuela and the Mystery Footprints. Abuela cleared the counter and set out all the things she would need to make the cake for Abuelo's birthday tomorrow. There were milk, eggs, and butter still cold from the refrigerator. There was vanilla for flavor and a small red and white can of baking powder. But the most important ingredient was the white silky flour she used for baking special treats. She popped open the silver flour tin. Just as she was about to reach in with her measuring cup, she saw them again. Right in the middle of the smooth white powder were 2 dents. "Antonio, come here quick," she called. "What's wrong?" answered Abuelo as he hurried into the kitchen. "They're back. Here, come and look for yourself," said Abuela. Abuela looked over Abuelo's shoulder. "You're right. Looks like someone's been walking in your flour again and leaving their footprints behind," he chuckled. Abuela didn't laugh. She just shook her head. "I don't understand it. No one else uses the flour but me, and I make sure the flour is all smooth and even when I put it away." Abuela lifted up the can and looked underneath to see if there were any bumps in the bottom that might explain the mysterious dents. But the bottom of the can was perfectly straight. "It doesn't make sense," Abuela continued. "Most of the time, the flour is completely smooth on top, and other times it has these strange little dents. Maybe it has something to do with the weather, if it's too hot or too cold or too wet on certain days," Abuelo suggested. "I don't think so," replied Abuela. "The lid on the can is too tight. No air gets in at all." "Then it's a mystery to me," said Abuelo with a shrug as he left the room. Abuela put her finger in each of the dents and pushed down hard to see if there was anything stuck underneath. but all she felt was the cool, soft flour. She pulled out 2 ghost white fingers and decided Abuela was right. The fingerprints, or the footprints in the flour, would have to stay a mystery because she had a cake to bake. So if you want to find out what is leaving these tiny footprints in the flour, check out this book. Our next book is also a mystery book. This is called Squishy Taylor and the Bonus Sisters. We're going to start with the first couple of pages here. Chapter 1. Baby is on the changing table, poopy and kicking. Dad looks flustered. Please, Squishy, he asks me, can you get the baby wipes? They're in the car. Squishy Taylor to the rescue. I turn and grab the car key, ducking out our front door to pause in the hallway. Elevator or stairs? Which is more fun? Stairs, of course. All 11 flights of them. I bolt past the other apartments to the stairwell. Then I leap down the steps like a ninja gazelle. I slow down at the bottom before I get to the garage. It's always been a bit dark and creepy down there. Our car is at the far end with the other cars from the 11th floor. To get there, I have to pass under a flickering light that's more off than on. That's when I hear the noises. A kind of rustling, scuttling noise, but big, way bigger than a rat. I stand still and listen, with my heart all racy fast. The noise is near our car. I take a deep breath, and I tiptoe down the last 5 steps and out into the garage. The fluorescent light buzzes and flickers off, and then I'm walking through the dark. There's that rustle again. I freeze. By now, I'm closer to the car than I am to the steps. I make a bolt for it, pressing the unlock button so the car beeps and flashes just before I get to it. I pull open the back door, scramble over baby's car seat, and slam the door behind me. I'm sitting on the baby wipes, listening to myself breathing. Whatever was out there knows I'm in here. A movement from a few cars away catches my eye. A dark, shadowy dodging movement, like someone trying to hide. It reminds me of something. There it is again, ducking away behind another car. I realize what it reminds me of. Myself, sneaking through the garage just now. I watch. The flickering lights come on again, and then I see the person running. I grin. That's definitely a little kid. A boy darting away from me. For some reason, that makes me want to chase him. I jump out of the car, and the kid bolts. I run between the cars. There's the sound of a door closing, and then nothing. I look around. Hey, where'd you go? Come out, I call. Nothing. Jeepers, this kid must be scared. My name is Squishy Taylor, I shout. I'm not going to hurt you. After another silence, a door I hadn't noticed creaks open, and a voice says, What kind of name is Squishy? I can see a boy's sunburned face and a dirty sweater. It's a good kind of name, I say, a special name. Mom and Dad gave me the nickname when I was little because I used to squeeze between them when they were hugging. I'd wriggle myself in, yelling, Squish me, squish me. They got divorced a long time ago, but they both still call me Squishy. I feel lucky because I'm sure no one else in the world is named Squishy. The boy is in a storage room, which I'd never seen before. As he steps out, I get a glimpse over his shoulder of a backpack and a sleeping bag laid out neatly on the floor. He pulls the door closed behind him. What are you doing here? I ask. Nothing, he says. It's not true, I say. Well, he says, shrugging, your real name's not Squishy. It's not. It's Sita, after my grandma, but that's only for serious in trouble times. This boy doesn't need to know all about that. We stare at each other. Do you have any food? He asks. Well, dinner's almost ready, I say, but I know that's not what he means. He looks so sad that I feel sorry for him. Do you want me to sneak you some later? He nods hard. How about we make a deal? I bring you food, and then you tell me what you're doing here. He looks torn and then says, Only if you promise not to tell anyone. I grin. Of course, I say. You're the best kind of secret there is. Just then, I remember something. I run to our car and grab a package of crackers and the wipes from the back seat. I hand the food over. I'll have to wait until Dad and Alice and Baby are asleep before I sneak out, but these should keep you going. The boy grins. Thanks, Squishy Taylor, he says. See you in the middle of the night, I say as I run for the elevator. It's not until I'm at our apartment door that I realize I never asked his name. So this is Squishy Taylor. Now, who are the bonus sisters? They are her stepsisters, Jessie and V. Squishy's dad tells her that since stepfamilies get a bad rap in fairy tales like the evil stepmother and stepsisters and Cinderella, he tells her, don't think of them as your stepsisters, think of them as your bonus sisters. Squishy does not think they're a bonus. She thinks they are 95% annoying and 5% super annoying. So when she discovers a kid hiding in the garage, the last thing she wants is for her bonus sisters to butt in on her investigations. But it turns out she might not be able to solve it by herself. So this is a funny book and it's a great mystery, so make sure you check it out. Our next one is called Posted. I love this book. It's a little thicker, but it is a really good read. So I'm going to read you the introduction. It's pretty short, but it lets you know a lot about this story. Now, Post-its are just another name for sticky notes, so that's where the title comes from. I push my way through the buzzing mob and freeze, heart racing, dizzy. It takes me a minute to really get what I'm looking at. Notes, at least 100 of them, pressed all over the freshly painted locker. Some clump together, overlapping like roof shingles. Others orbit like satellites, reaching up toward the wall. They vary in color, pale blue, fluorescent pink, lime green, but most of them are yellow, like dandelions before they fluff white and wither away. I stand motionless and read a few of them, softly enough so only I can hear. They are just words, and they are not just words. I think about everything that's happened, about Bench and Dee Dee and Rose and Wolf, about all the terrible things that were said, about the things that should have been said and weren't. There was a war. This is where it ended. I can't tell you exactly when it changed, when it spiraled out of control like a kite twisting in the wind, when it stopped being something funny and clever and became something else. Maybe there was no single moment. Maybe underneath all the squares plastered on the walls and the notebooks and the windows, there was the same message over and over. We just ignored it because it was easier to stomach. And now I'm standing here, dumbstruck, wondering if this changes everything. I know what you're going to say, sticks, stones, and broken bones, but words can kick you in the gut. They wriggle underneath your skin and start to itch. They set their hooks into you and pull. Words accumulate like cancer, and then they eat away at you until there's nothing left. And once they're let loose, there's really no taking them back. The truth is, I can't tell you exactly when it changed. I can tell you how it started, though, and I can tell you how it ended. I will do my best to line up the dots in between. I'll leave it to you to draw the line. That's the introduction to the book. And it is about how powerful words can be. Whether they're good or bad, they make a huge impact. The story is about 4 friends who go by their nicknames, Dee Dee, Bench, Wolf, and Frost. Frost is the one telling the story. The story starts when the principal of their school bans all cell phones for students after one of the students is caught posting something nasty about one of the teachers. So Dee Dee gets bored, and the school makes all the students buy all these yellow sticky notes, and they'd never use them for anything. So Dee Dee starts using his sticky notes to write messages and pass them back and forth in class. It catches on. The other students start doing it too. And pretty soon, the notes start appearing on lockers, in the bathrooms, on the windows, and all over the school. In the beginning, the notes are just goofy, like, I love bacon, or Dungeons and Dragons on Friday. But then they evolve into something more. Some people use the notes to encourage other kids, and some people use the notes to hurt. Even though they're kind of the kids that are off by themselves, the kids that nobody else usually notices, Dee Dee, Wolf, Bench, Frost, and their new friend Rose are soon right in the middle of this whole sticky note war. You'll definitely want to see how it plays out. There's some humor, there's Dungeons and Dragons, and there's a couple of death-defying dares that involve bikes and an insanely steep hill. So make sure you check this one out. Our next one is a graphic novel. You might have read some of the I Survived stories. They took some of those stories and turned them into graphic novels. So if you like the I Survived stories or graphic novels, you'll definitely want to check this one out. Like the I Survived books, they're all about a kid in the middle of a really difficult situation. So this book is called I Survived the Battle of D-Day. This is about a boy named Paul. He lives in France. This is during the Second World War. And his country has been invaded by German soldiers. They've taken over everything. Things are not good. And one day when Paul's coming home, he finds an American paratrooper stuck in a tree. A paratrooper is a soldier that jumps out of a plane so they can land secretly. Unfortunately, this paratrooper, his name is Victor Lopez, he got stuck in a tree on his way down. So Paul helps him out, and Victor tells him that the very next day, thousands and thousands of soldiers from all over the world, from America and Britain and other places, are coming and landing here to help rescue Paul and all of the other local villages in the area from the German soldiers. So Victor is there to help set up some things and secret meetings ahead of time. So Paul wants to help out, and soon he is running messages back and forth and meeting spies in secret. So this is a really fun book. It's an adventure story. There's a lot of action, a lot of spies. And so, like I said, if you like graphic novels or you like the I Survived series, definitely check this one out. Our last book is our nonfiction book. This one is called Hottest, Coldest, Highest, Deepest. And it's a book of records. Like, what is the world's highest mountain? What is the deepest part of the ocean? What's the world's longest river? So we're going to start with, I lost my little sticky note there. The longest river in the world. Does anybody have a guess what the longest river in the world is? There are a lot of different ones you could just guess. The Mississippi River is really long. So is the Amazon River. But the longest river in the world is actually the Nile River. So on each page, you're going to have a big picture. Tells you, shows the area. There's going to be a little map. Shows you where this is. So the Nile River is in Egypt. And then there's some other little info. Like this little picture here shows you how long the 4 longest rivers in the world are compared to the United States. So you can see the Nile River is almost 1.5 times as long as the whole country of America, which is pretty awesome. We'll do one more. A desert, as I'm sure you know, is a place where it gets very little water. So 10 inches of water a year or less makes some place a desert. So the driest place in the world is called the Atacama Desert. Does anybody have any ideas how much rainfall you think the Atacama Desert gets in a year? It's less than 10. So the Atacama Desert actually gets none. For the last 400 years, there's been no rainfall there. So again, here's your map. It shows you that this desert, the Atacama Desert, is in Chile on the western side of South America. And then here's a little picture that shows you how much water a place has to get every year or less to be considered a desert. So this is a really fun book. It's a short book. It's got some great pictures and a lot of fun facts. So you'll definitely want to check this one out. So those are our 6 books, and I hope you enjoy them. Have a great reading time this month.